Hey, so this is going to be sort of a video essay on the first 10 hours of Ni No Kuni 2. The whole... How, it's not going to have a script, because I'm terrible at script writing, but I'm going to try to accurately document my first 10 hours of this game, and why I don't really like the direction it's going so far. I'll be doing another one at 20 hours if all goes well, and I feel like I want to. So, let's begin. First let's start with this game's story. I won't go into too much detail for those who do want to play it, but holy crap. So, the game opens up with a city getting nuked. Yeah, there's this dude driving in his car, who you find out his name's Roland, and he's the president of the United States. He's driving to some bullshit thing, and then again, a city gets nuked, and he just straight up disappears. After that, after that, you end up seeing this boy named Evan, who is kind of just hanging out in his room until Roland suddenly gets yoinked in there for some reason. And then there's this whole like mutiny thing going on with this guy called, like, I believe it's Mouser. I don't know what his name is, so I'll just call him Mouse Bitch, since that's basically what he is. A mouse bitch. So, after you go and... So, you end up escaping the kingdom, Evan's maid person dies, which is really important, but... and it's like a huge driving force for Evan, but like, it does not affect him throughout the whole story. It's like brought up a couple of times, and it is his motivation, but like, you don't really see his motivation all change at all. Or like, really develop beyond just the fairy tale dream of making a kingdom where everyone could be happy. So, basically, from what I've gathered, he's kind of a hippie, since, like, he's going fully against war, and yeah, that would be nice, Evan, but, like, do you realize how much work he'll have to do? Well, apparently he does, and that's the whole plot of this game. First, you get this thing called a Kingmaker, which, after a admittedly easy boss fight, ends up being in this annoying little fairy bitch called Lofty, who adds nothing to the plot except being comedic relief. And after, yeah, and then you go with this guy named Batu and his daughter Tawny, who as well as, oh, by the way, Roland has a gun, and that's like something I gotta mention is that this game has a very, very strong case of plot gun, in the fact that you can, like, you see Roland's, like, killing people left and right in the intro with his gun, but in the actual game, his guns are weak as shit. And it's not worth it to use it. So anyway, after that, you go do some. After all that, you start building a kingdom, and the game gets. And all story progression goes to a screeching halt. So, you have to get some wood to build your kingdom. Alright, so you go to this guy named Neal, and he's like, oh no, I can't let you cut down the forest because this guy Pugnacious, who lives in Goldpaw, owns it now. So you go with that. So you go do that. So you go to Goldpaw, meet Pugnacious, and then, well, Pugnacious's guard, he puts you in massive amounts of debt, and then, you go find shit out about him, I think, and then, yeah, and then he's like, oh, the taxes are decided by a dice roll, which is really stupid. So, yeah, you're like, that's weird. The citizens have told us that, like, they've gotten 3 6s in a row, which means they have, like, really high taxes. And then, just like, alright, and then, after a whole thing where you, like, learn about Pugnacious and all of that stuff, I don't remember this part because it is not very memorable. So anyway, all you need to know is after a bunch of side quests, you meet up with Pugnacious, and then it's like, oh no, you gotta do this thing, and and it's like, you're really still, and you do this dice roll again to decide, and it's like alright, we almost got it. And then shit happened. And that's like, nope. And goes to a number that means you don't get it. From this Lady Luck bullshit. And anyway, you go back to the forest and you all disguise yourself as workers in this dice factory, and you find out that the state-run casino is, of course, rigged, because when aren't state-run casinos and JRPGs rigged? I'm kidding, of course. So, anyway, after a whole bunch of random bullshit, this guy, comes and steals Pugnacious's King's Bond, which is this, like, really important thing that, like, makes you a king, and that's why you need a kingmaker. So that's why we're stuck with that little shit, Lofty. Anyway, this guy, this mysterious dude, comes in, steals Pugnacious's King's Bond, and makes his Kingmaker go berserk. And then you'll fight him, and then the game comes to another screeching halt. Oh, right, because, so, after that, you negotiate a peace treaty with Goldpaw, allowing them to join her alliance to be hippies and stop war, and all that. And then, after that bullshit, so... And after all that, so... we finally, yeah, so after that, you start doing more stuff. I don't know at this point, so anyway, you okay. So, you end up, like, having to learn more about the countries of the world, so go do 3 pointless side quests for this librarian bitch to basically shove down an alternate gameplay style down your throat, and also to teach you that side quests are important, I guess. So, anyway, after that, you go and do some... Yeah. After that, you go to get a ship to sail to the next city, Hydropolis, but the ship makers that you hire, like, end up getting kidnapped, and they end up being all kidnapped by this weird spider octopus thing, and then just shit happens, and you end up done. And then shit happens, you get the shipbuilders back, you build the ship, you have to go to this, you have to go back to Nial's forest to get this really strong wood to fight another boss for some reason. And then, finally, you get the ship. So, that's how far I've gotten in the story. Let's talk about the gameplay. So, as you can see, this is an from me playing the game. This is an action RPG series. This is an action RPG game. And it sucks. Plain and simple. It's not good in the slightest. The game is either incredibly hard or incredibly easy. There is no in between. And the combat is boring. There are some stuff. It basically, how I would describe the game is basically it's trying to be like a Tales game with how it's played, but it fails at what makes the Tales series unique, and that is interesting combat. It's got a really bad syndrome of mash button until you can press a different button a couple times, then go back to mashing that button. After that, there is a different style of combat which I also do not like, because it's just it's basically it's this whole thing where you gotta, like, get your military. It's like siege battles, all kinds of stuff. And there's also the kingdom building, which I guess it's alright. I hear it's done a lot better in another level 5 game. Yeah. But I digress. Back to the main combat. So, as you can see, there's a dodge roll button. This is what you're doing for 90% of boss fights, and letting those little dudes, the Higglies, come and beat shit up. So, yeah. So, yeah. As you can see, there are also percentages on 3 weapons. So, what this means is that this is the Zing meter, where, as you can see, after hitting something enough, your weapon starts glowing, and that means you can initiate a more powerful special attack, which uses your mana. And it kind of, it's cool and all, but, okay, so the thing I really hate about this game is the boss fight. it the enemy combat is just kind of boring, but the boss fights are what can only be described as wars of attrition. That's it. All you're doing is just mashing the dodge roll button like this, triggering your Higglies, and then waiting for the boss to die. I know you can, like, use healing items, but something that really makes me mad is the lack of being able to punish the boss for slipping up. If you slip up, go in for the kill when you're not supposed to, the boss will just wreck your shit left, right, center. But the thing here is, you can't... Yeah. Huh. There is almost no opportunity for you to actually attack the boss, because even if a boss is, like, down, you're usually far away from dodging all of their attacks, or if you are close, then once you're done, like, actually fighting them, they'll just, you know, kill you. They'll just kill you for attacking it, because they instantly counterattack. And there are, frankly, some things that do damage to you that you should not take damage from. Anyways, my overall thoughts on this game, it's actually alright. It's obviously a huge ripoff of the Tales series with how its gameplay and characters act. But it's not, like, the worst thing ever, so if you, like, see it for, like, dirt cheap, like I did, I got the Royal Collection. I got the Royal Edition, which comes with all the DLC, for, like, $15. Yeah, that's about how much this game is actually worth. Do not buy this game at full price, you will regret it. Anyway, I will see you guys at 20 hours.